It's June 22nd, 2021, and you know why you're here, so let's kick this off right and introduce the players. Hey, I am Gerissar, a PvP Padawan.
Hey everyone, and I'm Andallyn, and welcome to the show. Today we are talking with just little old me and Gerissar today about the exciting news of 9.1 hitting live servers hopefully soon. So we got that information from Blizzard. We never thought this day would come, and there was much rejoicing. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into episode 132. But I'm not a poet.
Let's do this. Let's do this. Well, hey, since we don't have to introduce anybody, I need to introduce one thing. Check this out. I don't know if you can see this or not.
Ooh. Fire emojis.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's the new, that's the t-shirt that they put up on, the Warcraft Radio got us going up on the Teespring.
So Gerissar,
what?
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, if anybody wants it, just have to go over to the Warcraft Radio website. There's warcraftradio.com. There's a little shop thing link there, and you should be able to click on that, and you can get this shirt and other show shirts.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's exciting. I'm gonna have to get one of those myself.
Yeah, it's quite comfy. I really like it. So yeah. Anyway, so other than this dropping for me in the loot boxes, anything good drop for you in loot boxes, or anything go on for you last week?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see. I've been been busy with a lot of different stuff. My brother getting married. I went through. I was up in Kansas City for that, and it was exciting. There was a lot of different flavors of excitement. So, unfortunately, without putting out too much out there, I wasn't driving my car, but someone I care about was driving my car. And they unfortunately ran over a trucker tire. So my car is still in Kansas City, and I believe I'm going to be flying this weekend to go get it and driving back to Kansas City from home to home.
Oh,
myself.
no.
So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. So
that's a story and a half.
Yeah,
tell me that one.
I can't believe we even managed to get back here because apparently there's a rental car shortage going on across the country, which... What? Didn't see that coming. Apparently, there isn't a single rental car available for me to get in all of Kansas City. So, it's been fun.
Fun.
Yes.
You have interesting versions of fun.
I know.
I think you're slightly masochistic. Not gonna lie.
I know.
But, hey,
it's Winstead still kind of creeping into the show. Shout out to the boy. Yeah.
Oh yeah, shout out to Winstead, man. We haven't talked to him for ages.
I know.
I know he's doing good though. I keep in touch with him.
Oh, good.
He's still doing really good. The business is doing great. The fam's doing great. All of it.
That's awesome.
So other than first off, congratulations to your brother for tying the knot. I guess I know I've seen you online a bit playing Overwatch. Is that still basically what you're doing in game, or have you been playing any actual World of Warcraft?
Yeah, I haven't really gotten onto World of Warcraft too much, and I know this is a terrible thing to say on a World of Warcraft podcast, but like that's just kind of how it's been. It's been like, hey, I have like 30 minutes, let's play a game or two. Yeah. Otherwise, I'd be like leaving halfway through the quest. So it's just better for right now, especially kind of getting antiquated to a new job and kind of especially that job requiring a lot of traveling and being, flexible. And I mean, I'm also planning for my wedding in August too, so we're doing a lot. So it's
wow.
But nonetheless, we still find time to keep sharp. Iron sharpens iron, so we will stay sharp on the World of Warcraft news and bring you nothing but the finest. So.
Well, I mean, considering there's I think we did a test. I went over to the Drustvar.com website, and I know Drustvar Leak over there he did a tweet on it. But there's like over 100 people that have been sitting on over 3K rating since February. They have not played their characters since before 9.0.5 dropped. So don't feel bad if you're sitting on your rating and haven't played. And prefer to play Overwatch for now. So.
Well, and that's why I've seen a lot of people playing, calling for the rating decay. which I'm a big proponent. I'm a big supporter of this, even though I'm one who would suffer from this. I think it would be a really good thing for the game, and I think it would be necessary to kind of how the scene works now, especially with the fact that a lot of people, PvEers, let's go ahead and be direct about it. In the beginning, they bought these ratings, and so like, for those who wanted to continue doing it, because there's a large business of people who are running these carries, and I don't know. I think you could figure out how to handle that on another end of the spectrum. That's another conversation to figure out how to whether or not you want to incentivize or decentivize the whole aspect of being able to sell carries. But regardless, that rating decay is going to make that business have to innovate more or make that business go extinct. So I think anything like that that's going to force innovation in a certain regard is going to be a good thing for the game.
I appreciate if any innovation got rid of that business. I don't think it's going to happen because that's been around since the ladders were a thing. I mean, really, it's just been more prevalent over time. But
right.
But hey, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about 9.1, and I don't believe rating decay is in the PTR patch notes yet. But let's roll into our Need Greed Pass, and then we'll get through the rest of the stuff and get into the subject analysis.
This likely won't be a clean thing. All right. So keep your distance, Sally.
Oh, keep your distance, yeah. Keep your distance from this one. So, Gerissar, as you are intimately aware, it is my week for the Need Greed Pass. This is your favorite weeks where you do not have to 10 minutes before the show go, oh, dang it.
Nope.
So
you did, though.
Nonetheless, we are here ready for the Need Greed and Pass. So for this week, let me paint you a scene, all right?
All right.
A lot of people may be really excited to be seeing this scene. I don't know. We'll see how you feel. Let us know in the chat.
We'll see who likes the scene.
Blizzard is getting bought out.
Okay.
Who is Blizzard getting bought out by? Need, Greed, and Pass. Riot, Epic Games, or Nintendo. So Blizzard is getting bought out by one of these companies, and I want you to tell me which one you want to need on, which one you want to roll greed on, and which one you're going to pass on. And unfortunately, sorry, you can only pass on one. You can only greed on one, and you can only need on one. So your options are Riot, Epic Games, or Nintendo.
Oh. I just want a meme. I want a meme. I want to meme so hard and say need on Nintendo. I want to see Luigi raid boss, and I want to see what's that pet farming game that everybody got in on?
Animal Farm.
Animal Farm.
Yeah.
I want to see us get like Animal Farm experiences, like so basically what Blizzard tried to do with Garrisons, but actually make it good. And
you have a Princess Peach in the top of your garrison.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I want to see it. I want to see Luigi be a paladin, and I want to see him going around with an Ashbringer with a yeah.
Okay, so here's a question then. All right, so if Luigi's a paladin, then what's Mario?
Elemental Shaman, obviously.
Ellie Shaman? Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's throwing lava blasts.
So then Yoshi has to be a fire mage. Right? Little
Yoshi's
spotted
kind of
dinosaur
like a
that
demon
shoots
hunter.
the fireballs out of the mouth. Really? Demon hunter? Okay, maybe.
I would go demon hunter on Yoshi.
Okay.
I think.
All right. Okay. Anyways. Okay, so I'm gonna say Nintendo need. I'm going to greed on Riot. I'm going to greed on Riot and pass on Epic.
Okay. Any reason there, or just?
No, not really. Just it was kind of a toss. I had to choose. So I know Riot they're making their own MMORPG, everybody's just waiting with bated breath to see what that's going to look like. And if they actually bought out WoW, I think that would just be, or bought out Blizzard, I think that would just be so supreme, because then they could take all the platforms, all the IP that Blizzard has, combine it with what Riot is already doing phenomenally, and just make some of the best games. They'd be able to roll it all together. So
yeah, I think that's
fits well.
I think there's an interesting idea. I mean, this is pretty cerebral. It's not like a lot of this is practical in any way, but just kind of thinking really outside the box. I honestly think I want to roll need on Epic.
Really?
And here's why.
Do tell.
I feel like this isn't still true right now, but to an element it is. I feel like Fortnite rode its wave of popularity not because of the good graces of the community. I felt like because they kept fresh and new content in the game. They pumped that game with the attention that it needed to keep it fresh, to keep it exciting, with new seasons, with new stuff going on. And I think that type of mentality would go a long way in World of Warcraft. So I think the matchup of that need and that maybe familiarity with Epic could be a really good matchup.
Okay.
So
I like it.
I'm going to roll need on that. I'm going to roll... This is tough, man. I made this too tough. I'm going to roll greed on Nintendo.
Yes!
I already clicked the button. I was going to change it back, but I already clicked the button.
Too late.
Yeah,
Too late.
I'm going to roll greed on Nintendo. I think that... obviously, Nintendo would fully embrace the World of Warcraft kind of themes and motifs going on. That's the word. Yeah.
You think?
So, yeah, no, we're not getting an 8-bit World of Warcraft. Yeah.
Can you imagine World of Warcraft on the Switch?
I mean, Demon Hunters wouldn't know the difference.
Nope. No, exactly. It's all the same controller movements.
And so with Ret Paladins, as Asmongold puts it, they can play their class on a garage door opener. So I mean, it's like, they'll be right at home. But yeah, and then I'm gonna pass on Riot, which that feels really bad, but that's what it is.
No, something has to go always.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna throw this to the Twitch channel, the Twitch chat. You guys over there, I see you in chat, telling us, screaming off who needs to get buffs and nerfs already. I love it.
Chat's been really quiet, and I think it's because they're just so puzzled. They don't really know. They're like, guys, that's a really tough question. I actually don't know the answer. So I think that's why there is no chat response immediately. It's kind of like a not all at once kids kind of thing. Yeah, absolutely.
I think, yeah. Well, if they think of it, we'll see it. And you people at home, again, technicallypvp@gmail.com or on Twitter, technically_pvp. In the meantime, let's talk about what's upcoming in WoW PvP events.
Get in there and fight! Stop hiding!
All right, our PvP events.
Indeed. So I'll admit, from May, where we had like an amazing amount of events going on, June, July is it's a little bit of a drought, which makes sense because I mean it is summer. Summer up here in North America. A little bit colder down in the southern hemisphere. But we do have, of course, Andallyn Gaming. Keep an eye out on his 5v5. Then also there's Flark's 3v3 tournaments. Keep an eye out for those on the Synergy Discord. The Diabolus Death Bowl, the monthly Death Bowl, is actually going to be a 2v2 Burning Crusade arena. So because there's no Burning Crusade tournament realm yet, this is being done on the live servers. So they downgrade it from a 3v3 to a 2v2 because it has to actually be done with live server. So whatever people actually have. And that's going to be happening on the 26th and the 27th tonight is actually the cutoff for signups. So get over onto the Battlefy. Go find, they have links on their website or on Twitter or whatever. Go sign up if you can. Grab a friend and sign up. There's $4,000 prize pool on this one.
Wow.
And I think they're doing, I'm pretty sure they're doing prizes right up to like 8th place. So if you sign up today, you're pretty much guaranteed to win money, regardless of how many, wherever you place on it. So
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I wish I had a 70. I wish I had actually leveled.
Yeah, I mean, even if you weren't good, it's like, hey, you want to get clapped in arena for like $50?
Yeah,
sure.
exactly. Why not?
Yeah.
So go over there, go sign up. Then this one I found on Twitter. This is awesome. A person named Big Donnie Cow is organizing a 2v2 tournament over on EU retail. It's going to be happening on the 10th of July. There's going to be a link for the tweet in the show notes. Basically, he wants people to contact him directly, either on Twitter or over on Discord. And for that, they are going to be giving away free subs for the prize pool. So I don't know much more details on that. And last but not least, Burning Crusade Arena Tournament coming courtesy of Blizzard. And that's going to be happening on the 23rd to the 25th of July. So, that's when it's being broadcasted.
A month from now.
Yeah. So, if not mistaken, the signups are open right now. They're going to close, I want to say like around the 10th. And there's going to be offline qualifiers happening around that weekend. And then they're going to set up for the actual broadcasted top 8, which is going to happen on the 23rd to the 25th. So if you are interested in that, go sign up to that one as well. And that one is supposed to actually be on over on the tournament realms. They're gonna have the tournament realms up and running. Oh, I should say the Diabolus Death Bowl is North America only.
Okay.
So it's North America. Well, North America, South America. Yeah. So
they've been doing a nice job at kind of iterating between both. So
yes,
it's North America's turn. So. Mm-hmm. Sorry to our folks across the pond.
Yeah. Hopefully they'll return. I think they've done NA 2 months in a row, so
yeah,
they should. But that's it. That's it for esports, though. I was really with all the stuff that happened in May, and there's it tailed into like beginning June. I was really hoping it was going to keep going, but just didn't keep going. But that's okay. People need breaks and need to look at what worked, what didn't, and hopefully we'll see some more stuff come up.
The big reason why you're seeing that is because of the TBC launch. No one's planning anything for people
for retail.
Yeah, exactly. But they're just they're allowing people to kind of like sink into the experience, enjoy yourself, like go level, go do this dungeon, go run your raids, go have fun playing the game for a little bit, and then kind of once it kind of grows a little stale, you throw the esports and the different types of competitions in there to kind of bridge that gap. So,
indeed. Yeah. Well, yeah. Go. If you have Alliance, you're probably well better off on Burning Crusade Classic right now. If I just saying. All right. Let's get into the subject analysis and actually chunk through what's being released in 9.1.
I'm gonna light you up, sweet cheeks.
Old Millhouse, always talking that smack. All right, let's talk about 9.1. So,
oh my gosh, this thing's huge.
Yeah, I'm actually going to bring us over here, you folks, on the live stream. We're going to zip on over here to our handy-dandy notebook. Ooh, look at that. All right, so we've got the 9.1 changes that are hitting the PTR here, and we're going to kind of drill down and talk about them. So let's do it, Gerissar. Let's
do this. So I know we're okay. So we're going to start off. We're actually going to follow through the PTR patch notes as they are up on the forums. So this has been updated regularly since I think it was created back in the 4th of May when they first started doing this, and it was updated effective the 15th of June, which is the last big PTR update they did. So right off the bat, classes, there's a bunch of class changes that happened, not just PvP centric, but also just in general. This one, I'm going to call out. I think it was Sloot. He was talking with Ian and made comment about how anti-magic zone on Death Knights was a bit too needed for Mythic pluses and raids. So Ian agreed, and so now anti-magic zone is being nerfed. So it only lasts 8 seconds instead of 10, and it will only absorb up to 150% of the Death Knight's health, and then it goes away. So rather than just absorbing no matter what, a unlimited amount for that period of time.
Wow, yeah.
So now I'm guessing that this does a snapshot at the time when it's cast. So if there's any buffs on the Death Knight at the time, then it would take those into account to create the anti-magic zone.
So like if you BM Trinket, Battlemaster Trinket or something like that, you would buff up the health of this as well. Yeah.
It would, but then why would you do that, right? Why would you burn a trinket?
Oh, I'm just talking in theory.
Yeah. No,
not in practicality. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking of things like even like Power Word Fortitude.
Right. Yeah, more practical things, namely. Absolutely. So yeah, I think there's plenty of those different types of things that would definitely do that, especially if you have certain abilities that might increase your health. So. Yeah,
exactly. So there's that. Blood DKs are getting an overall 6% increase to straight across the board damage increase. So that should help them. That should help them in PvE for sure. I don't see them becoming practical in PvP still.
Yeah.
If anything, that'll just make them a little bit more annoying in skirms or in those lower rateds as people are playing with them.
Yeah.
Now, Demon Hunters are getting a pretty interesting overall tweak. So their soul rending talent is going to increase their leech now. It's doubled. So it was 5% going to 10%. And but it only has an additional 20% while they're in Metamorphosis. Before it used to be 25%. So overall flat increase on how much leech they have, plus with a slight nerf when they go into Metamorphosis, which makes sense because I think Metamorphosis has a bonus to how much they leech anyways. So it just won't make them completely invincible when they're in Metamorphosis. Right. On top of that, the Havoc is having like a straight across buff. Demon's Bite is getting an increase. Demon Blade talent is 15% up. Chaos Strike, Annihilation, both getting 50% more damage. Unbound Chaos talent increases the Fell Rush. That's a slight nerf, so from 600 down to 500. Let's see, Netherwalk is increased by a second, so it's now 6 seconds long. Desperate Instincts that triggers Blur at a 50% reduced duration and 50% reduced cooldown when you fall below 35% health. So that's that automatic blur that happens.
Yep.
And then Unnatural Malice, the Conduit, now increases the hunt's the hunt, so the Night Fae ability there, dot effects. So it was the initial damage, but now it's just a dot afterwards.
Yeah.
So I'd say overall that looks like a flat increase. I think this falls in line with what Ian was agreeing to when he was talking to when Brian was talking to Ben Rookie about. They were talking about bringing down a little bit of the amount of damage that comes in on the burst and kind of upping the consistent damage.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you're looking at a lot of these are all generators. Demon's Bite, Demon Blades, Chaos Strike, Annihilation, all generators. I mean, yes, you could argue Chaos Strike and Annihilation are very much big damage dealers in that regard, especially when you have Metamorphosis and you're rocking those Annihilations. But yes, this is very much it almost looks like they're pulling back a little bit. Actually, they're kind of balancing out the defensiveness by kind of, pulling out on Unbound Chaos, adding another second to the Netherwalk, which, maybe a second might go. It definitely has the potential to go a long way in that regard. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but it's not game breaking. That's not going to end the game.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
I think if anything, like especially the Malice there and what it does to the hunt, I'd say that definitely helps. So then, if you did pop a cooldown, you'd probably actually survive that instead of like popping a cooldown and then just dying to the hunt anyways. So.
Yeah, for sure. Or
We'll
a
see.
fake cast it and they cool down, cancel.
Oh,
I like that interaction. I think that
I
there
know
needs to
you
be
do.
more of that. So, but let's talk about the druid here. So
Go
the
for it.
druids have gotten a little bit. So they've got well-honed instincts. One of their conduits. The cooldown has been increased by 50% at all ranks. So I'm not sure where that comes into play, but if you're a druid, that's definitely something to take note of. So balance. We've got the new moon talent. New moon now has 20-second recharge. It was a 25-second recharge. New moon and half moon, the damage has been increased by 33%. So kind of following in that same line of, okay, let's smooth out the damage curve a little bit here. Solstice, the talent now causes shooting stars to fall 250% more often. That was 300%. So a slight nerf onto the shooting stars from the Solstice talent. We've got Stellar Drift, which is a talent that's been redesigned. Starfall damage increased by 50% and allows you to cast while moving while Starfall is active. But it has a 12-second cooldown, and it was 15 seconds. So this is a little bit of an interesting change. I think that might add a lot of different capabilities there on the boomkin there. So we've also got the free Starfall from Oneth's Clear Vision, which is a rune carving power. Ignores the Stellar Drift talent Starfall cooldown. So there's a lot going on there. We'll let you unpack that if you're a druid. Balance of all things. Another rune carving power now grants 24% increased critical strike chance. It was 40% and decreases by 3% every 1 second. And that was 8% every 1 second. So definitely a buff in that regard.
Well, yeah. So now
not necessarily a
now
buff, but it's a smoothing out of. Yeah.
Well, now it lasts 8 seconds instead of 5 seconds.
Right.
But it's not as big as an oomph on the first pop.
Right.
Which kind of makes sense. I mean, I hate to balance of all things and then wait. Let's say you have a GCD. Well, second and a half later, you just lost 8% or 16%
Exactly.
before you get your next. So yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to point out the well-honed instincts. So that was originally a 90-second cooldown, and now it's a 135-second cooldown. So that's what that's all about.
Gotcha.
Is that, yeah. So, and I like the idea that they separated the Onus Clear Vision Starfall so that it doesn't trigger, because it's basically its own Starfall. It doesn't trigger with Stellar Drift, which which makes sense.
Yeah.
So, all right. I think overall those tweaks are just. I think there's some good quality of life stuff. I don't see them being game changing.
No.
Although I think, if I'm not mistaken, there's some people that want Balanced Druid buffed in Twitch chat tonight. I think some people would disagree with that. But hey, whatever.
Hey, that's. Anyway, let's roll into the hunter.
Yeah.
I'll take the hunter, and then you can take the next two. So
okay, sorry.
no, you're fine. 'Cause you took two, so I was like, yeah, I'll roll two. We'll do duos. So we've got hunter. In the survival hunter, so Raptor Strike, your damage has been increased by 15%. Kill Command damage has been increased by 15%. Your Mongoose Bite and Flanking Strike talents, both the damage has been increased by 15%. So in your pet families, in our Mammoth family, Trample is now an instant cast. It was a 6-second channel. In your, do you know how to pronounce that word?
I think it's Pterodax.
Pterodax. Let's go with that. There's a new ability, Updraft. Your pet beats its powerful wings, slowing the fall speed of both itself and the hunter for 30 seconds. Pretty cool. You don't need a mage to slow fall into BS anymore. Classic Pterodax pets and Mists of Pandaria Python pets are now larger in size. Super cool. So,
Indeed.
So really nice kind of balancing out the survival hunter.
I think we're going to see more survival in PvP. I think that general damage increase.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like Raptor Strike, Kill Command, and between Mongoose Bite and Flanky Strike, like those are core abilities that people have on rotation. So that's just a flat damage increase straight across the board.
Yeah, definitely.
So, all right, into the mages though. The Fire Mage got slight nerf. So the Flame Strike reduced by 10%. Flame Patch, the talent, was reduced by 10%. Kindling talent, cooldown reduction of your combustion, now only reduces by 1 second every time you cast Fireball and do other flame spells. It was just 1.5 seconds. Yeah. Okay. That was okay. Anyway, yeah. And then the Infernal Cascade Conduit fire damage bonus was reduced by 20%. So that's a general decrease straight across the board. Straight on those few abilities. I think really what the one thing there is kindling your combustion. You won't see combustions come up quite as fast. Flip side, on the Mistweaver Monk side, they're getting a damage increase. So we got Tiger Palm, Blackout Kicks, Rising Sun Kick, and so those are all 10%. And then Spinning Crane Kick damage is up by 20%. Enveloping Mist mana cost was reduced from 6% down to 5.6%. And then if you're leveling, you'll find that you'll earn the second rank of Revival at level 56, which is a little bit faster. And Revival now also procs Gust of Mist on each target healed. Revival healing though was reduced by 10% overall.
Yeah, that balances out the Gust of Mist procs that you're going to put on everybody.
Yeah, that makes sense. Otherwise, it'd just be a little. You see Mistweavers all of a sudden climb the charts on. They take number 1 right away. And lastly, what's this? The Smoothing Mist channel is no longer interrupted by Mana Tea or Zen Focus Tea.
Right. So
that makes sense.
Yeah, on your cooldowns, you can pop those cooldowns while channeling Soothing Mist.
Yeah.
And that's a really nice change.
That's a really good quality of life. You think we're going to see Fist Weaving come back with these slight little boost to the damage?
I hope so.
Or is this just a...
I hope so. I mean, I think that I would have liked to have seen the same amount, like the 15%. Now, whether or not that makes a difference, I don't know. I think it's because I have a certain level of doubt that it won't make a difference. So I feel like that leaves me more inclined to say I'd like to see 15%, especially with late how Mistweaver has just consistently underperformed. I would like to see a little bit more of a healing increase, but I mean, if you're going to go the damage route, I think they need to have a much. It's one thing to have like absolutely no damage and then go to like doing a little bit of damage. Just because you went up to doing a little bit of damage doesn't all of a sudden make you viable anymore, especially if you can't heal as nearly as well as other classes. Yeah. So
fair.
If you go from a point from doing little to no damage to doing a significant amount of damage, like more so than a Holy Paladin's going to do, but a Holy Paladin can heal better than you can, or has more like saves and throughput than you do, but you do more damage, that presents a very different swing of events that could change the outcomes of games. That puts you in the driver's seat as a Mistweaver to say, I have certain win conditions that I can play towards as a Mistweaver, and then I, likewise, as a Holy Paladin, have certain win conditions that I can play towards as my Holy Paladin. So I think that
I like the interaction better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. So I to kind of wrap all that up, I hope that this is enough, because they need to be given something to where they can be more viable. So
yeah, I agree. But why don't you get into Paladin and we'll see how that interaction is going to shift.
Absolutely. So let's talk about Paladins. Blessing of Winter from Blessing of the Seasons. Your Night Fae ability can now be applied to multiple targets simultaneously. So this is, I mean, let me know if you ever found someone in PvP who was a Night Fae Paladin. But in PvE, this has got probably some connotations there, and I can't speak to those. But in regards to Holy, Flash of Light healing has been increased by 20%. Infusion of light consumed by Holy Light now causes Holy Light to generate 1 Holy Power. It was 30% additional healing. So, nice changes there. I mean, that's something you would definitely take as a Holy Paladin. So, we've got Inflorescence of the Sunwell, a rune carving power, now gives Holy Light a 30% chance to generate 2 Holy Power when it consumes Infusion of Light. The damage of all abilities reduced by 8%.
That's big.
Ashen Hollow, your Venthyr ability. The damage reduced by an additional 10%.
Yeah, so that's like 18% total.
Yeah, so notice that's also going to be an interaction with the MDI. So 18%. So, yeah. The J. Bucko is going to have to figure out what he's going to want to do about that. Hammer of Wrath. Yeah, I'm sure he probably has, yeah. Hammer of Wrath damage reduced by an additional 10%. Sag. Judgment damage reduced by an additional 10%. Crusader Strike mana cost increased to 11%. It was 9%, so that's a 2% increase.
That's a lot of mana.
Crusader's Might, the talent, reduces the cooldown of Holy Shock by 1 second. It was 1.5 seconds. And they also fixed an issue that increased the damage of Hollowed Discernment, the Venthyr conduit, for Holy Paladins. So, I think if you're a Holy Paladin, these changes look scary. They look very scary.
I think they look a little scary. I think what this does is it just brings down that damage of the Holy Paladin down to more reasonable where it should be.
Yes, I agree. But what I'm saying is this looks very scary if you're a PvE Holy Paladin. If you're a PvP Holy Paladin, you're probably playing a Kyrian Covenant, right? And so your throughput is getting buffed. Flash of Life healing increased by 20% with the Infusion of Light consumed, to get additional Holy Powers. I feel like your damage is getting taken down a little bit, but you're going to be a lot stronger in your healing. So this could be interesting. But see, what this does is it makes me wish that Mistweavers had actually gotten buffed in their healing, because I think all this is going to do is just shift the framework from Paladins being really good and Mistweavers being not really good to Paladins now being really, really good and Mistweavers being really good. It's the delta between the gap between the two stays the same, potentially.
The floors just come up a little bit higher.
Exactly. Yeah. You're just moving the chains. Yeah.
I think the difference though is with Paladins, and when we talk to people, when we did the whole healer series there, everybody was always saying how Holy Paladin, the amount of damage they do was significant. It was very noticeable. And this will at least bring that down while still letting them heal, like you said. This being more beneficial for probably on the PvP side than on the PvE side.
I don't think Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say I agree though. I don't think we're suddenly gonna see Mistweavers at the top. We'll probably see them being more viable. I really hope people don't already have their expectations set and see a Mistweaver and automatically discount them, because I think they're still viable in some ways, especially in RBG settings. So if anything, we'll just see them being that little bit more viable, especially once gearing stat weights change and come up a little bit, and we'll see a lot larger stamina, so health pools and everything else happening.
Yeah, I don't think these mana changes will have any of an impact, or much of an impact, but I think overall my first thought is I would have liked to seen them go a little bit of a different direction and nerf the healing as opposed to the damage. I would have preferred to keep the damage and to have seen the healing go down a little bit.
Okay.
Just in terms of the play style of the Holy Paladin is very fun to be able to dish out that damage, but also kind of almost play like a hybrid, like a true Paladin, right? Because if you think about the MMO experience, a Paladin is a melee healer, a holy warrior. So if you look at it, the context of that in any other game, it's very much a hybrid type of healing and damage, plate wearing damage class. So
Yeah.
I think it fits that mantra, but who knows? We'll have to see. A lot of these things are what we're saying right now doesn't mean anything because it all depends on how it all plays out on live servers.
True.
So
We're looking at little.
We're speculating.
Yeah. But we're speculating, looking at like the bricks of the building and not able to see the whole building, right?
Exactly.
So, all right. In priests here, we got the clear mine conduit effectiveness was reduced by 25%. That's actually that was a really strong conduit, so needed but unfortunate. The spirit shell talent cooldown is increased to 90 seconds from 60 seconds. So sorry, I just want to comment on this. Is something I noticed with this and a few other things when I was previewing a bunch of these changes. You'll notice that there's a bunch of defensive healing cooldowns and just general cooldowns that have been changed from 1 minute to a minute and a half, which I find interesting because there's a bunch of offensive cooldowns that are on the 1 minute cooldown that haven't increased. They're still in the 1 minute cooldown. So that means now you're going to be stuck to only having a defensive cooldown to trade off every other offensive cooldown.
Because what they're doing is they're taking and saying, okay, the script. What we're going to do now is we're going to change the constraints. And so now the script has to be rewritten, right?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
It's how you change the meta. Exactly. So that's what they're attempting to do.
Yeah. So. And this is just and we haven't got to the PvP stuff yet.
Yeah.
On Holy, for Holy Priests, the symbol of hope has been redesigned. So now it will bolster the morale of your party or raid members within 40 yards. And they'll recover 60 seconds of cooldowns on a major defensive ability and regain 18% of missing mana over 5 seconds. So that was 12%, now it's 18. Sounds cool. I don't know how often you'd pop a symbol of hope in a arena. You definitely see it in PvP in RPGs.
Yeah, this isn't. Yeah.
But yeah, it's not that big of a deal. Now this one I found interesting. Shadow Priest. So Shadow Word Pain increased by 25%. Vampiric Touch increased by 25%.
A quarter.
Devouring. Yeah. Those are huge. Devouring Plague damage was reduced by 18%. Okay. The Dissident Echoes Conduit now grants a 20% increased Void Bolt damage from 35, so a slight nerf.
Mm-hmm.
The Shadow Flame Prism, the Rune Carving Power, Shadow Flame Rift damage is reduced by 16%. Talbotar Stratagem, the Rune Carving Power, as Mind Blast damage is increased, was reduced by 8%. I'm not sure what we should look that up. I feel like we're missing something there. What were these rune carving powers originally? You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's okay. I don't think that's outside the scope for what we're doing right now.
Okay. All right. I just feel like there's something missing there.
Yeah.
Anyway,
there is. So it's out of the scope.
So whatever they were before, they're just not as. But that was probably just some balancing stuff. They're probably just a little bit too powerful. And then they fixed an issue where the Death and Madness talent would from granting insanity and resetting the cooldown of Shadow Word Death when Shadow Word Death was cast on a target as it died. So just that little thing where Shadow Word Death was supposed to the cooldown was supposed to reset if you cast it just as something was dying, then you missed it. This would actually account for that that slight mistiming, especially if there's like some lag or something like that. So
for sure.
All right.
Let's talk about. Yeah, I'll talk about the.
Let's do rogues. Yeah.
So the rogue, the shield from Cloaked in Shadows, your conduit, is now 50% larger. It lasts for 4 seconds. Previously had no duration, and no longer decays while the rogue is out of stealth. Okay. So your feint duration increased to 6 seconds. It was 5 seconds. Serrated Bone Spike, the Necrolord ability. The bleed now properly benefits from your critical strike chance. Subtlety has some additional changes. So with Subtlety, your Shuriken Storm Rank 2 now also increases Shuriken Storm's chance to critically strike by 15%. Black Powder's damage per combo point increased by 33%. Black Powder Rank 2 now causes targets with Find Weakness to suffer an additional 40% damage as Shadow. It was 50, so a slight nerf there. So just kind of upping the damage, but curbing a little bit of the exponential part of it. So,
Indeed.
Shadow techniques now trigger more frequently. I'm not sure about what that is, but Backstab damage increased by 20%, and Gloomblade, the talent, damage increased by 20% as well. So, a couple nerfs for a couple buffs for the Subtlety Rogue, as we kind of saw a lot of. The Rogue has been a lot of drama has gone on in the Rogue class since the beginning and launch of Shadowlands.
Yeah.
There's some hilarious memes and YouTube videos about it, but I do feel for the Rogue.
So just to add shadow techniques, that's the ability where your auto attacks will sometimes generate an extra combo point and some energy.
Oh, nice.
So eight energy. So
that's going to
just means that you're
huge quality of life. Yeah.
Yeah. So now they should be less energy starved.
Yeah, that's good. Excellent.
Yeah. On to the Warlocks. Dear to my heart.
Yeah.
Dear to my soul, if you will. The Dark Pack talent, additional Absorb Shield, has been increased by 316%. So this is where you pull 20% of your health and turn it into a big Absorb Shield. So that's pretty good. And then Affliction had kind of a rework in their damage. So the Malefic Rapture, the damage from that was reduced by 18%. So that's the ability you pop, and it adds a little bit of, it does like a burst damage based on the dots you have on
the
targets.
Number of dots. Yeah.
Yeah. That uses your soul shards to cast that. Meanwhile, Curse of Agony damage was increased by 20%. Corruption damage was increased by 15%. Seed of Corruption damage was increased by 25%. So that's good. So now you can do a little bit better burst with the Seed of Corruption.
Well, less burst, but more consistent pressure.
Well, no, because Seed of Corruption is that's the little seed that then when it pops, it bursts.
Spreads the dots.
And it puts corruption on everything that it hits. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Malefic Rapture was the Affliction burst, right? Or you were running the life siphon life or whatever, the life drain.
No, that's a talent that makes your siphon life suddenly do a bunch of damage.
In terms of builds, when you would actually burst as a warlock, is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but the Malefic Rapture, if I'm not mistaken, was an ability you push. So you dot up everything up, and then you have a couple soul shards, and you push that, and it does a burst hit based on the amount of dots you have.
Right.
So it's like a doubler.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what else we got. So Dark Color is no longer a talent and is now baseline. You learn at level 58. Shadow Embrace is no longer learned at level 58 and is now a talent on the level 45 row. Shadow Embrace is now a 16-second long burst. It's not a 12-second long. The talent Haunt and Shadow Embrace and now also increase the damage of your pets and guardians. That's big. To be able to increase the damage of your pet, which is doing most of your damage anyways. That's awesome. Or not most, but significant amount of damage. That's awesome. Then they added a new conduit called Withering Bolt. So this makes your Shadow Bolt deal 10% or drain soul 5% more damage per dot effects active on your target. So similar to how Malefic Rapture dealt, depending on how many dots you had. Now, so does your Shadow Bolt and your drain soul. The focused malignancy conduit effectiveness was reduced by 53%. That sucks. Cold Embrace conduit has been removed, and the Sacrolash Dark Strike, which is a rune carving power, has been redesigned. So now it does corruption damage is increased by 25%. That's up from 15. And each time corruption deals damage, it extends the duration of all your curses active on the target by 2 seconds. So I was thinking about this. This is pretty neat. So imagine that you have Curse of Tongues on a target, and then you have corruption on them. Every time corruption ticks, the Curse of Tongues now extends another 2 seconds. And if not mistaken, the curse or corruption dot ticks every 3 seconds.
And the damage is increased by 15%.
Well, now it's increased by 25. It was 15. So corruption damage is more, and then every time it ticks every 3 seconds, any curse you have on the target is also extended by 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So you could take, I think, Curse of Tongues. I want to say it's like 10 seconds. So it could be extended like to 14 or 16 seconds.
Nice.
Yes, I'm probably gonna have that. I probably have that wrong. I'm gonna have to look this up now. This is driving me bonkers. All these little things. Sorry. Curse
So
of Tongues.
finish this out here. Or do you want me to do it while you're looking that up?
You go ahead.
All right. So Demonology from the Shadows talent now also increases your pet's Shadow Flame damage. For Destruction, we've got the Chaos Bolt damage increased by 10%. Eradication, the talent, now also increases the damage of pets and guardians. Shadow Burn, your talent damage increased by 23% and now refreshes a charge if the target dies within 5 seconds. So, pretty cool. Really interesting.
Yeah.
A lot going on here with the Warlock. So we'll see how that all shapes up. So the Warrior... sorry.
I just checked. Curse of Tongues is 10 seconds long.
Okay.
So, yeah.
For Warriors, Arms... Mortal Strike damage increased by 10% in non-PvP. Deep Wounds damage increased by 10% in non-PvP. Overpower damage increased by 10%.
In PvP.
Execute damage increased by 10%. This does not apply to Condemn. Sad.
Thank God.
Yeah, I know, right? Sorry there. Yeah.
Yeah. Wah.
Unfortunate.
Sag.
Protection. Execute damage increased by 10%. This does not apply to Condemn either. So
not a lot changed in Warriors, but I mean they're in a really good spot to begin with, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see. We've got some Covenant changes here. I don't think we want to dip into too much here. I think it'd be in our best interest to kind of start digging into the PvP changes.
I think the only thing I want to point out is they're adding another 40 levels of Renown, so that's going to bring with it some more stamina, some more Soulbind rows, all that stuff. Be aware that you need to get to Renown level 59 to unlock all the ranks of your PvP gear. Because again, they have tied Renown to ranking your PvP gear.
Okay.
So, yeah. All right. So into that, I think for items, I think the only thing that's really important there is the Shards of Domination, which is Domination Gems.
Yep.
So we can talk about those in a little later, but as far as we're aware, that stuff is going to be active in PvP. So you are going to need to you need to be able to get your gem slots on your PvP gear to get those on there so that you can remain competitive. Otherwise, you will find yourself lagging behind on anybody else that has those because they're significant boosts.
Yeah, I see the Gladiator's emblem on use, the health reduced by 30%.
Oh, good. So I thought that was in the PvP section. Yeah. So again, when Brian was talking with Venruki, Venruki talked about how the Gladiator's emblem, it kind of becomes a must-have on the defensive, and that was more so than what really they want to have. So they reduced it slightly. I remember seeing Venruki seeing that. He tweeted he wasn't sure if it was enough. That's something to be seen in practice, but at least this is in a step of the right direction in his opinion. Yeah, and I agree. I think for something that's just a boost in health, we're not talking a Relentless Trinket or the medallion that gets you pop it to get at a CC. This is just a a pop, and you should be able to survive a hit or two, not become immortal for another 10 seconds.
Yeah, the Battlemaster trinket is it's popularly referred to. So yeah. Hey, you got some cool pet battle changes though. That'll be nice for your adventures.
The one thing that I'm most excited about it is that it removes the cap on how many pets you can own.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because that's huge. I will say from the pet battle community, this doesn't do a thing to the meta. You think people were upset by how stale the meta was in BFA? What happened when Shadowlands launched and some of the changes they made to Sandstorm and stuff, it's just made people miserable, and nothing's changed. People have been asking for it, and there's been absolutely no meta change. So feel bad for pet battlers, please. Feel bad for them. All right, into the actual PvP stuff. Season 2 PvP items. I think we've seen enough about this. Is the items are going to scale by 13 item levels when you're in PvP. So if it's item level 200 when you're out of PvP, it'll be 213 when you're in PvP. Right?
Yep.
Now this is battlegrounds, arenas, war mode, that kind of stuff. I never tested it on duels. I don't know if it happens in duels. Probably not.
Who knows?
Or it should, but I don't know if they thought about that or not.
Okay.
And a neat one here is before, when you're upgrading your item, it was based on the current rating at the time. So let's say if you got 1801, you kind of had to go and upgrade your items right away, because if you went back in and let's say you went down to 1799, you wouldn't be able to get that higher item level. Now it's going to be the best rating of the week. So if you get up to 1801 and then drop back down to 1600, you can still within that week boost your gear to 1800 level.
Nice. So I want to point this out, and it probably goes unnoticed, but this is so suave. All right, this is Blizzard literally testing solo queue without saying anything, and probably no one picking up on it. Really smart. Props to Blizzard here. So they're testing solo queue. Repeat arena skirmishes wins will now reward 3 conquest. Was 0. So what this is saying, what that is you can solo queue for skirmishes.
Yeah, that's basically what skirmishers are. They're
exactly.
just a ladder.
So what they're doing is they're allowing you to earn a small amount, mind you, a small amount, but you'll be able to solo queue, and this is very much a dipping your feet in the water in terms of the actual game design. And I bet you that's what they're doing. They're saying, okay, you want to run all this talk about solo queue? Let's see how you like it. Let's see, are people actually hungry for this? So I think it's cool. I think it's really smart.
I think the only thing that would really test this towards an actual solo queue is if in the background they had implemented something that looked at your historicals, your achievements for CR, and then use that to consider who you're being teamed up with.
Yeah, I think that requires a lot of manpower, and I think this is a great way with very little manpower to kind of get the necessary data that you're looking to see if it's worth investing that manpower, because they probably want to do a little more than that if that's kind of what their direction they want to go down.
Yeah,
but nonetheless,
this was really nice. So for another quality of life, your cloaks, your necklaces, and CC trinkets are going to show up less frequently on the Great Vault. So if you already have your best in slot cloak, you're not going to be ignoring it and getting soul dust or something instead, or whatever.
Yep. Everyone I knew would always be able to get their weapon out of the Great Vault, and I never on any character was able to get a weapon out of the Great Vault.
Yeah.
Never, ever, not once.
So I need to really... You highlighted the skirmish. I need to highlight this one. So they fixed an issue that caused many, not just a couple, many absorption spells from soulbinds, conduits, and covenant abilities that weren't being healing, that were ignoring the healing reduction from dampening and focused or brutal assault. So we're definitely going to see less dampening, right? Or when more. No, you're going to see less, because
they fixed it to where, because it was ignoring the healing reduction from dampening. So now it's going to recognize the healing reduction from dampening. So it's going to feel like more dampening.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I meant like let's say if we're watching AWC, we're going to see less of
the number
30%.
will go not as high.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's why. All right, let's get into the abilities here. So classes wise, Death Knights, they got some new talents. So they got the PvP talent Spell Warden and the PvP talent Death's Echo. So all right, so this is where.
So how do we want to do this? Because in the interest of time, there's a lot going on here. So do we want to kind of just do a large overview?
Where are we at for time?
We are a little over halfway through our episode.
Oh, I think we got some time then, don't
we
we?
have about 50 minutes.
All right, let's see where this goes then. All right, so
we'll do a quick outro. Yeah.
Pardon me?
We'll do a quick outro.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, so let's do the Spell Warden spell. Or talent, I guess. So your Rune of Spell Warding is applied to you with 100% increased effect. So it takes that Spell Warding rune that you'd put on your weapon, and it is now 100% stronger. That's pretty cool. And then what's Death's Echo then?
So Death's Advance, Death and Decay, and Death Grip have one additional charge. That's pretty cool.
That's all right. Actually, that's really good.
Yeah, that is really good.
Double grip. That
for all those have an additional charge.
Yeah, I want to say that sounds the double death grip. That's from Torghast. I remember seeing that.
Right.
I want to say that's from somewhere else.
Yeah. Okay.
Another good one. So Strangulate, the PvP talent. It used to be only available to Blood. Now any speculation can get it, but its range was reduced from 30 to 15, so it's halved.
Yeah.
So if anybody doesn't remember, that's the one where it reaches out and it would grab somebody and just hold them in the air and strangulate them. It used to be all specs, but I think they reduced. I think when they did a revamp, they pulled it just to Blood for Shadowlands, and now they give it back to everybody. On the flip side, though, is Necrotic Aura is now only available for Unholy specialization. Decomposing Aura is only for Blood, and the range on that was reduced a little bit from 10 to 8 yards. And the two talents Cadaverous Pallor and Transfusion were removed. So let's hear what else we got. On the Blood side, I know, but Blood for Blood PvP talent was redesigned. So now passively, your Heart Strike now deals 60% increased damage, but also costs 3% of your maximum health to cast. And Last Dance now reduces the duration of the dancing rune weapon by 25%. It did half the duration, which is good. So, because the dancing rune weapon, that's when it puts out an extra weapon and it just like spins around and hits things. So in the meantime, this is the people are really scared about Frost. So there's this new talent. Well, two. There's one called the Shroud of Winter. So this one's fun. This is where enemies within 8 yards of the Death Knight become shrouded in winter and reduces the range of their spells and abilities by 30%. So think about that one for a second. And then you have the Bitter Chill PvP talent. And that now has the Chains of Ice reduces the target's haste by 12%. And then Frost Strike will refresh the duration of the Chains of Ice.
Oh wow, that's fun.
And Chains of Ice already slows people, right?
Yeah.
So, I love it.
That's cool.
But that's because Heartstop Aura got removed, and Heartstop Aura was the flat cooldown reduction.
Yep.
So, but I mean, a 12% haste reduction, like that's going to screw up some players. It's going to screw some players up huge.
Yeah, I think a lot of players don't really benefit from haste, this expansion like they used to.
Casters do.
But
haste is required for some to smooth out the rotation. Otherwise, the rotation just gets clunky.
Like who?
I'd say. I knew you're gonna put me on the spot like that.
It's okay. I mean, I just playing after playing a bunch of different stuff. For me, it was always like you either cared an awful lot about crit strike, or if you didn't care about crit strike, you cared about mastery, and if you didn't care about mastery, you cared about crit strike. And haste was just kind of filling in the gaps.
I feel like that was the way because a lot of the PvP gear has like haste mastery, haste, or it's always there. Like, so you kind of always get it. It wasn't like you had to focus just, there's no like huge haste builds for any of the classes for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would say that there's a number of classes where haste kind of helps round out the rotation. And if suddenly you lost, I mean, we're talking 12% haste here. Like that's
yeah. Anyway, let's keep going.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. Sorry. All right. What else is there? The Dead of Winter talent. Yeah, it doesn't no longer reduces the radius of Remorseless Winter, so that's good. The Death Chill talent radius, when applied by Remorseless Winter, is increased to 8 yards. It was 5, so slightly increased there. Delirium talent can now only be applied through Howling Blast instead of Frost Strike. But it reduces the cooldown recovery rate of movement abilities by 50%, was 25, but it lasts 3 seconds shorter, so only 12 seconds, and doesn't stack. So a slight rework there. I like the fact that it's applied by Howling Blast instead of Frost Strike. Kind of sucks that it's a little bit, doesn't last quite as long, but reduction of your movement ability returned by 50%, like that's pretty big. It sounds like, again, a lot of that sounds like it's to counteract mages and casters.
Yeah,
there's a lot of that stuff. So Unholy now, we got necrotic wounds have been added.
This is cool. I like this ability.
What is it?
Bursting a festering wound, right? Because you put stacks, your main abilities put stacks of festering wounds on the target. Mm-hmm. Bursting that converts it into a necrotic wound, absorbing 5% of all healing received for 12 seconds, and healing you for the amount absorbed when the effect ends, up to 5% of your maximum health, max 6 stacks. Adding a stack does not refresh the duration.
Oh wow,
that's pretty cool.
That's almost a Mortal Strike effect, or it is a Mortal Strike effect.
But it's like chronological. It's like spread out over time. And you can get more value out of it than a Mortal Strike than you would, like, depending on how well you're able to manage it. So I think that's really nice, and that's the kind of play style that a lot of current-day World of Warcraft players are looking for. I think Unholy is going to be a lot more fun.
Yeah. I like it. So do you have Doom Burst up then? What's Doom Burst do?
Sudden Boom also causes your next death coil to burst up to 2 festering wounds and reduce the target's movement speed by 45% per burst. And it lasts for 3 seconds.
Because you almost root somebody.
Yeah, you literally almost root somebody.
Love it. I love it. All right. And then Life and Death, the PvP talent, now heals you for 5% of the healing received by targets afflicted by Virulent Plague, was 10% from Festering Wound. Which kind of makes sense. I mean, can you imagine if you were receiving 5% healing from Festering, or 10% from Festering Wound, and then also Necrotic Wounds, and it's just too much.
Yeah.
So, okay. So that makes sense. And then
take a Mistweaver. Just some extra damage.
Oh, no. Pardon me?
So I'm going to take a Mistweaver with me. Do some extra damage. I don't need its healing.
Exactly. Yeah. Raise Abomination PvP talent cooldown was increased to 2 minutes instead of 1.5. And Necrotic Strike PvP talent is gone. Bye-bye. All right. Why don't you take...
All right.
Let's look at Demon Hunter. You take it.
Absolutely. So let's talk about Demon Hunters here. So, Demon Hunters. We've got a new PvP talent. It's called Blood Moon. Let me see if I can find where this is.
I got it here. So I just had it there it is. All right, so it's your consume magic now affects all enemies within 8 yards of the target and grant 5% leech for 5 seconds.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but we'll get there.
Okay. All right.
So we've also got a new talent, Chaotic Imprint. So let's see, Chaotic Imprint.
All right. So Chaotic Imprint, your throw glaive now deals damage from a random school of magic, and increases the target's damage taken from the school by 10% for 20 seconds.
Oh.
So that can be good and bad. Can you imagine if you're playing with a fire mage and you just like hit them with a random, I don't know, chaos magic school? Like that does nothing. But what's the cooldown on throw glaive? Isn't it like it's like 6 seconds?
It's quick, and you got multiple stacks of it if you spec into it, which you probably do with Cast Blade or whatever it is. But I'm thinking this has a roll the bone feel to it. Roll the bones. You know what I mean? Like it really has that, because I mean, like you're saying, if you're playing with a fire mage or something, and then you hit him with like an arcane missile. Well, okay. Cool. But if you hit him with a pyroblast, it's like, whoa, all of a sudden that combust is going to hit different. Yeah,
that just sucks. In the middle of a PvP, like an arena or like in the heat of battle, having to throw glaive and then suddenly check to see what the debuff is to see what school of magic it is.
Weak auras.
Like,
yeah, you just fish. You fish. So I'm wondering. It says it lasts for 20 seconds. I wonder if you throwing another glaive swaps up the debuff, or if it adds on another one.
That's a darn good question.
So I'd like to see how that interaction works. So that'd be cool. But anyway, so we've also got Imprison now lasts for 4 seconds in PvP. It was 3 seconds. Detainment, which works with imprisonment, now increases the duration of imprison by 1 second. Was 2 seconds and no longer increases imprison's cooldown. Okay, so there we go. It balances it out. Unending Hatred PvP talent now generates fury from all damage sources. Previously was just magic damage taken. And its fury generation has been increased by 50%. Ooh. So let's talk about Havoc. We've only got changes for Havoc. So we've got a new PvP talent called Glimpse. So Glimpse, Vengeful Retreat, provides immunity to loss of control effects and reduces damage taken by 75% until you land. Which
that's actually really good.
Doesn't sound like the land thing could be really cool, because if you've got like a Greater Pyro or something, like, or a Chaos Bolt, these types of abilities that like mages would use, like Prismatic Cloak, this kind of thing, right? So you can kind of like, it's giving Demon Hunters in essence a Prismatic Cloak. So I like that. That's kind of cool. So we've also got Isolated Prey as a new PvP talent. Isolated Prey. So Chaos Nova, I-Beam, and Fell Rush gain bonuses when striking one target. Chaos Nova. The stun duration increased by 1 second. I-Beam. The target takes 10% increased damage for 6 seconds. Oh. Fell Rush.
Oh my gosh.
Generates 35 to 45 fury. That's really good.
Yep.
This is going to be insane. This is going to be what Demon Hunters take. I'm taking that 6% increased damage in a 3v3.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Although I like the idea behind Glimpse. I was just thinking about it. Just do a quick turn and then do a Vengeful Retreat into the Greater Pyro. So you take 75% less, and you just went into it, and they can't stun you or anything.
Well,
right?
you could also Vengeful Retreat a Polymorph.
Yeah. Yeah. So
you could Vengeful Retreat a Cyclone. You could Vengeful Retreat a Hex. Like all sorts of different stuff. So there's a lot of utility with that.
Oh, I like it. All right, what else do they have? What else do we got?
So let's see. We've got Cover of Darkness has been redesigned. The radius of darkness is increased by 4 yards, and its duration is increased by 2 seconds. Wow. That's cool. That's
Yep.
going to be a lot more significant. So, Demonic Origins, the PvP talent, now reduces the duration of metamorphosis by 10 seconds. It was 15. Blur, Demonic Origins was a popular talent too that you would take.
Yeah, it was.
Blur now correctly grants 50% dodge while in PvP combat. It was granting at a reduced value, so it's good. You want to get your bang for your buck. Darkness now grants 50% chance to avoid damage while in PvP combat. It was 20%. So Darkness is huge. Eye of Leothoris, PvP talent has been removed. Can't say I'm sad about that. Mana Break has been removed. Can't say I'm sad about that either.
Not sad about that.
No.
I was just thinking about the darkness radius being increased by 4 yards.
Yeah.
Doesn't that make it now larger than Ring of Peace?
I don't know.
Because I thought Ring of Peace was the same size as Darkness, so you could rob people out of the darkness.
Yeah, and zone it out completely.
Yeah. So now with that, if you take that, you could, if you're up against a, let's say a Windwalker or just a Monk period, right? You could probably take that and still, even if they drop a Ring of Peace, you could probably still, I guess it all depends where the ring goes down.
It's got to be bigger than Ring of Peace. 4%, 4 yards on the radius, so it's 8 yards wider than what it was before. It's got to be larger than Ring of Peace. So
yeah. All right. Ooh, I like it.
Yeah.
Druids. So Druids now have their high winds PvP talent now reduces the healing done in addition to its existing effect. No longer available to Guardian Druids. What did it do before? Man, I feel like of all the people we've had on and everything we've learned, you'd think I'd know all this stuff by now.
I think they don't include some of this stuff. They're just like, what did it do before, Blizzard? And you're like, don't worry about that.
Yeah. Players, Cyclone leaves the target reeling, reducing their damage and healing by 30% for 4 seconds. All right. So, okay. Balance. Balance now has some new PvP talents. One is called Alkin Adept. Do you have that? You going to save me and make me look good? Or
Absolutely. I've got you. Alkin Adept. Alkin Frenzy can stack up to 2 times and reduces the cast time on your next Cyclone or Entangling Roots by 50%.
Ooh.
So think about this. Stacks 2 times. So you could get an insta-cast Cyclone. I think.
I like it. Yeah. It should.
That's
juicy.
Yeah, if my eyes don't deceive me. So
yeah. Math checks out. All right. And then
Starburst. Yes, the popular Starburst. Starfall has a chance to call. That's a typo. It says to calls. Starfall has a chance to calls down collapsing star that lasts 15 seconds. Enemies that come into contact with a star cause it to burst, knocking nearby enemies upwards and dealing 280% of spell power damage as astral damage. It generates 0 astral power. The druid and their allies may pick up stars, causing them to orbit around you. Talk about chaos.
Yeah. So I remember this at first. I didn't. So they must have changed it slightly so you can also pick them up. But I remember, you'd cast a spell, an orb would show up, and then you would have to drag the enemy into it. So,
but if you pick them up and you go, like, let's say your warrior picks them up and charges over to them, now they're knocking them all around.
Exactly.
Because it's orbiting around the warrior. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's going to be the play.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine Boomkin with Demon Hunter?
Nice. Or even Rogue. Dancing with the Stars. That's a cool interaction.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. You shadow step.
Okay. Celestial Guardian, the PvP talent, was slightly redesigned. So Bear Form now reduces your magic damage taken by spells by 10%. But you can cast Moonfire in Bear Form. So, and Prickly Thorns is gone.
Peace.
Yeah. Feral has a new PvP talent called Wicked Claws.
Yeah.
course, I am slow on the
I got
intake.
you. I got you. So Wicked
man,
Claws.
you're awesome.
Infected wounds can now stack up to 2 times and reduces 10% of all healing received by the target per stack. Infected wounds can now also be applied from Rip. That's cool. So that's a mortal
Oh,
strike
boy.
for Feral.
Yeah. But that's a 20%. No, most mortals were... That's big.
That is big, but you have to stack it up twice to get that 20% value.
Yeah.
But it applies. It can be applied from Rip. So like
Yeah.
applying your Rip bleed.
That's just part of your rotation. Like that's, if I'm not mistaken.
It's one of your combo point spenders. So kind of, but I don't know how Feral was playing, but I think they were prioritizing like Ferocious Bite a little bit harder. Because you would stack up modifiers and get huge Ferocious Bites on people with huge bursts. I actually played with a Feral who was really, really good at this, and he's like, dude, nobody knows how to play Feral, but it's insanely good. Dude, I watched this guy solo people at 1900. We're soloing people, and I'm like, dude, I did 0 damage and 0 healing this game because you just soloed both of them.
That's okay.
It is impressive. Like
Wow.
When you stacked up all the modifiers and all the percentage increases from your covenants and from your abilities and from your different items, it was insane.
Huh. Well, I guess so. Now that people are gonna have to choose between Rip or Ferocious Bite. Well, that's assuming they even take this talent, right?
Yeah.
So, okay. Then Infectious Wound now lasts for 12 seconds in PvP. Was only 8 seconds. The Leader of the Pack talent can now proc from critical strikes with spells, and can now only occur once. It can only occur every 8 seconds instead of every 6 seconds. So slightly longer internal cooldown, but it can now proc from spells as well. Wicked Claws, the PvP talent, now reduces. Oh, this we already knew. Reduces healing. Reduces healing received by 12% per stack. Was 15.5. So does that make sense? Savage Momentum now reduces the cooldown of Dash by 10 seconds. It was Stampeding Roar. That makes more sense. I think you could use Dash more often as a personal instead of Stampeding Roar. Just randomly, all of a sudden everybody starts running around faster. Freedom of the Herd now also reduces the cooldown of Stampeding Roar by 1 minute in addition to its current effect. King of the Jungle now stacks up to 4 times, and its movement speed increase can stack with other movement speed increasing effects. That's cool. And the PvP talent Rip and Tear is gone. Last but not least, almost. We got Guardian, which has the Emerald Slumber PvP talent. I should really plan ahead, shouldn't I? So Emerald Slumber is a talent where embrace the Emerald Dream, causing you to enter a deep slumber for 8 seconds. While sleeping, all other cooldowns recover 400% faster, and allies within 40 yards are healed by 0 every second. Okay, that seems like but direct damage may awaken you. It's a 2-minute cooldown, 8-second channeled cast.
That's really cool.
So,
400%. Wait. All other cooldowns. Oh, I thought it was for your allies too. Okay. It's your cooldowns are regenning 400% faster. Okay.
So you can basically reset all your cooldowns, and then while you're doing it, everybody around you is getting healed by some unknown amount. Wow.
It's like, aren't you an idiot for taking this talent?
Oh my god, that's I wish they had periodic. It just does. It's the way the math is working out for some reason on the data mined. Let's see here. That replaces Roar the Protector PvP talent. That's gone. And then last but not least, our healer friends, the Restoration Druids, they have Keeper of the Grove, and Keeper of the Grove does your Tranquility. It now increases it increases the healing of Tranquility by 100%, and you can't interrupt it anymore. So you can bait the kick.
If they're bad.
Well, if they don't know the first time, right?
I think it shows you like it kind of grays the bar out or puts the little shield around it on the Blizzard UI, so you can kind of see that it's uninterruptible. Kind of like when a demon or a warlock pops unending resolve, and you can see that he can't be kicked. But yeah, you're right. I notice a lot of people will sometimes still kick into it, but
Yeah.
You know.
Well, who knows? We'll see.
anyway, let's talk about hunters. Hunters are a little bit shorter, but here we go. Let's jump right in. So we got 3 new PvP talents. The first one, Tranquilizing Darts. So Tranquilizing Darts, interrupting or removing effects with Tranquilizing Shot, which is your purge, releases 8 darts at nearby enemies, each reducing the duration of a beneficial magic effect by 4 seconds. That's pretty cool. So, like, if you were able to tranquilize, like, a bop, you could maybe get rid of something that was, like, less than 4 seconds. That's really cool. Yep. I mean, especially against, like, a Mistweaver or something. You just, boom, you remove HOTS. So, that's cool.
That was... Well, same with Druid, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So then we have Chimeral Sting. So this stings the target, dealing 150% of your attack power's nature damage and initiating a series of venoms. Each lasts 3 seconds and applies the next effect after the previous one ends. So the first effect is your Scorpion Venom. 90% reduced movement speed. Ow! Spider Venom. Silenced. Viper Venom. 20% reduced damage and healing.
Oh my gosh.
So each of those lasts 3 seconds.
Oh my gosh.
You're slowed.
That's awesome.
3 seconds silence, and then 3 seconds of 20% reduced damage and healing. That's really cool. So then you've got Hunting Pack. Sorry, Wild Kingdom is the...
Yeah.
Wild Kingdom.
That's the new talent. Oh, sorry. You got it?
I'm looking for it.
So Wild Kingdom, it has call in help from one of your dismissed cunning pets for 10 seconds. Your current pet is dismissed to rest, and it heals for 30% of maximum health while it's gone.
Got it.
It's on a 1-minute cooldown.
Cool. It still has it labeled as Hunting Pack, but that's weird. Okay. So, all right. Hunting Pack. See, it says in here, Hunting Pack now grants the entire aspect of the cheetah effect to allies within 15 yards. Pretty cool. It was only 3 seconds of 90% increased movement speed. Okay. So, Scorpion Sting has been removed. Spider Sting, removed. Viper Sting, removed. Cool. So, Beast Mastering. Beast Mastery's got Kindred Beasts. It's a new ability. So, Kindred Beasts. Command Pet's ability... unique ability cooldown is reduced by 50% and gains additional effects. That's all we know. Mm-hmm. So, additional effects. The Beast Within PvP talent has been redesigned. You and all pets within 40 yards gain 15% attack speed and immunity to fear and horror effects. Really nice. The Wild Protector PvP talent has been removed.
Indeed.
Which is just the wall, essentially. So.
Yeah.
And then Marksman has a new PvP talent, Consecutive Concussion. Consecutive Concussion. So Concussive Shot slows movement by an additional 20%. Using Steady Shot 3 times on a concussed enemy stuns them for 4 seconds. All right. Interesting. I don't know why you'd be casting steady Shot 3 times in a row.
Well, it doesn't say in a row. It just says 3 times.
Yeah, but on a concussed enemy. But your the concussed debuff only lasts for like 12 seconds.
Oh.
So you kind of almost have to cast it 3 times in a row. I just don't see this as being good at all. No, that sounds neat.
But then, how would that work on diminishing returns? Because now if let's say you did that and they're stunned, now you just activated the diminishing return on stuns. So if Yeah, that doesn't work very good at all. Because then you're, let's say if you're playing jungle, the druid then goes into bash. Well, now bash doesn't last full duration, right? That seems really.
It doesn't stun him until your third steady shot, which.
Fair. Okay.
Yeah.
But then if you let's say if somebody was doing that, they thought that was really cool. Now you just activated diminishing returns on the stuns, and they're on a slow diminishing return because of the concussion to begin
but those
with,
those don't line up though. They don't share DRs.
Fair. No, I'm just saying like two different schools of CC are now on diminishing returns. So
yeah, but I mean you're going to use those DRs though, so. You already used concussive DRs, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah. Let's go into the mage.
Okay, so over on mages, Kleptomania PvP talent is now only arcane. Mm-hmm. And then dampened magic PvP talent is gone. For arcane, they have a new talent called Arcanosphere, and this one's pretty cool. This builds a sphere of arcane energy, gaining power over 4 seconds, and then when it releases, the sphere passes through any barriers, knocking enemies back and dealing a bunch of damage based on spell power as arcane damage. So
does divine shield count as a barrier?
I'm not sure. I'm thinking when it says barriers, that's walls. So you could actually ignore walls.
Line of sights. Okay.
Yeah. So let's say if somebody's pillaring, you could actually cast that and push it through and then bump them, and now all of a sudden they're flown off the pillar. All right. And then on top of that, the arcane blast is the damage is increased by 20% in PvP. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So over in the fire sphere, you got a new talent called Ring of Fire. So according to this,
Ring of Fire.
So this is a 2-second cast, 30-second cooldown, 30-yard range. Summons a Ring of Fire for 8 seconds at the target location. Enemies entering the ring burn for 24% of their total health over 6 seconds.
And it burns.
Yikes!
The Ring of Fire.
So that's like a Ring of Frost for area denial, which is really cool. Only instead of CCing it does a bunch of damage. Controlled burn PvP talent has been redesigned, so Ignite deals 100% more damage while Combustion is not active. World in Flames PvP talent now causes Flame Strike to reduce the cast time of Flame Strike by 50%. Was a flat 1.25 seconds, so now it's just 50% shorter, and increases the damage by 30% for 3 seconds. Was 20% permanently. Over on the Frost, I like this talent. The sound of this one, Ice Wall. Have you seen this one in play?
No.
All right, you remember in Wrath of the Lich King where Jane Elvson threw up a wall of ice to block.
Yep.
And yeah, so it's basically that. So Wall of Ice, it's a 1.5 second cast on a 30-yard range with a 1.5 minute cooldown, and conjures an ice wall 30 yards long that obstructs line of sight. The wall has 40% of your maximum health and lasts up to 15 seconds.
Holy cow! Sweet mother of resets. Go back in the starting room. Ice wall.
Yeah. Right?
Dude, rogue mage. What? Wow.
Yep.
That's cool.
Or in PvP when the flag carrier is trying to kite, just block their exit.
Ooh.
Anyway. Wow. All right. Frostbolt now also oh, this is amazing. Frostbolt now deals 100% more damage in PvP combat. Was 15%. Deep Shatter PvP talent now increases the damage of Frostbolt by 75% on frozen targets. Was 150. So it's a bit of a nerf there, but I think it's well balanced by the 100% damage of just every Frostbolt. The Burst of Cold PvP talent now increases the damage of cone and cold by 600%, was 400%.
Cool.
So a nice little buff there.
Yeah.
All right.
All
What do we
right.
got going on for... Yeah,
Let's
you got
talk
Monk?
about let's talk about the monk. Talk about the
Ho, ho,
monk.
ho.
Monk
Yes,
ass.
please.
All right, so Mistweavers. We've got some new PvP talents. We've got Peace Weaver. So the Peace Weaver, Revival's cooldown is reduced by 50% and provides immunity to magical damage and harmful effects for 2 seconds. That's pretty good, especially with the huge buffs to the overall just smoothness of Revival. There could be some really nice interactions there. So we've got Dematerialize into mist while stunned, reducing damage taken by 30%. Each second you remain stunned reduces this bonus by 10%. That's pretty cool. Because
That's neat,
Mistweavers
yeah.
die in stuns. So
Yep.
that could be huge. Really smart on the dev team on that one, I think. So Thunderous
Yeah.
Tea is another option. Thunder Focus Tea can now additionally cause Crackling Jade Lightning's knockback immediately, or cause Essence Font to increase your movement speed by 70% and provide immunity to movement impairing effects.
Nice.
So that's nice. Yeah, definitely keeping you slippery. So that's nice. I would still take
Nice little-
Dematerialize. I like that. So we got some other changes here. Counteract Magic PvP has been redesigned. Each hostile magic effect removed from a target increases healing they receive from you by 2% for 10 seconds, stacking up to 10 times. Nice, that's cool. Refreshing Breeze PvP talent has been redesigned. Healing done by Soothing Mist increases the healing of the next expel harm on the target during the channel and causes it to dispel one magic, poison, or disease effect. Okay. Eminence PvP talent has been redesigned. Transcendence. Transfer can now be casted while stunned, and its cooldown is decreased by 15 seconds if it is cast while not stunned. That's cool. Surging Mist talent has been removed. Chrysalis PvP talent. Cooldown reduced for Life Cocoon reduced to 30 seconds. Was 40 seconds.
So that puts Life Cocoon on 1.5 minutes.
Yep, absolutely. So we've got some changes for Brewmaster as well. I still have yet to see a Brewmaster Monk in PvP Arena, but new PvP talent, Nimble Brew. Nimble Brew douse allies in the targeted area with Nimble Brew, preventing the next full loss of control effect within 8 seconds. Wow, that's pretty big. And then you've also got Rodeo. Every 7 seconds while Clash is off cooldown, your next Clash can be reactivated immediately to wildly clash an additional enemy. This effect stacks up to 3 times. And the Craft Nimble Brew PvP talent has been removed.
Yep, it's gone.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a redesign, but yeah.
Yeah, rename, redesign. Might see Brewmasters doing some flag carrying, but that's about it I can think of.
Probably not.
Over on the Paladin side, so Luminescence has been redesigned. So when healed by an ally, allies within your aura gain 5% increased damage and healing for 5 seconds. That's kind of cool. Judgments of the Pure, the PvP talent, is now available to all specializations. Previously was only protection. And it was also redesigned. Casting Judgment on an enemy cleanses 1 poison, 1 disease, and 1 magic effect that they applied on allies within your aura. That could, if that comes back to the Paladin, that could be detrimental for some things that have, when cleansed, it causes bad things to happen. Not sure.
Yeah.
It's just...
Like if you like a purge a UA or something. Yeah.
Yeah, if you judge the warlock and then purge all the UAs.
Yeah, it should be a thing where you escape the that damage just gets placed onto nobody, you know.
Should. All right. Over on Holy, your Holy Light healing was increased by 20% in PvP combat. Darkest Before the Dawn PvP talent healing bonus per stack was increased to 20%, stacking up to 5 times. Originally was 10% up to 10 times. So comes out to the same amount in the end. But yeah, math is hard.
Yeah.
Divine Favor PvP talent, the healing bonus of the next Holy Light is reduced to 50%, was 100%. And the Light's Grace PvP talent, damage reduction granted to the target of your Holy Light is now 15% for 5 seconds and no longer stacks. And now increases your Flash of Light healing by 25%.
I like that. That's nice. That's a quality of life change.
Indeed. Yeah. Retribution, your Jurisdiction PvP talent, now increases the range of Blade of Justice by 10 yards and the radius of Divine Storm by 4 yards in addition to its current effect. Aura of Reckoning PvP talent, damage bonus of the next auto attack it reduced to 200%. It was at 250%. And the Paladin now gains 1 additional stack if the Paladin is the victim of a critical strike. Was 2 stacks before that. Ultimate Retribution talent was redesigned. Mark an enemy player for Retribution after they kill an ally within your Retribution aura. If the marked enemy is slain within 8 seconds, Redemption is cast on the fallen ally. So, kind of a battle res. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen or not.
It's a meme tier.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be pretty funny if you did it, though, right?
It's full on meme tier. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Lawbringer PvP talent has been slightly redesigned. Damage increased to 10% of max health, and the debuff duration increased to 1 minute, but no longer deals this damage to the primary target of your judgment. Yeah. It was a bunch of other stuff. Whatever. Vengeance Aura was also redesigned slightly,
Okay.
so the critical strike chance bonus per stack increased to 6%, stacks up to 2 times, but no longer grants increased holy damage. It used to. And the Cleansing Light PvP talent is gone, and that's gone for the protection spec as well. All right, on to priests. Oh my gosh.
Well,
How are we doing for time?
see. We're behind, but it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look
Are
and
we?
see Cleansing Light, what that was, because I thought I remember that. Cleansing Light, yeah. Cleanses all ally. Oh, okay, yeah. That one. I tried using Cleansing Light a few times, but it did not share the interaction, because what I would do is I would just kill myself with all the UAs or like all the vampire touches and stuff like that. So Cleansing Light, yeah, that can go. That's, yeah, good riddance. All right. So we've got the priests. Right. Priests, new PvP talent. Improved Mass Dispel.
Indeed.
Mass Dispel's cooldown is reduced to 15 seconds, and its cast time is reduced by 1 second. Okay.
Nice. So that sounds great, but so originally the cast time was a second and a half, and originally the cooldown was 45 seconds.
Yeah.
So actually, yeah, that is pretty good actually.
Yeah, on 30-second cooldown with a shorter cast time. Yeah. So, all right. Thought Steal, the PvP talent, confused spell that players are afflicted with after being thought stolen, is now a 20-second cooldown to indicate the duration of the lockout.
Yeah, that's just a quality of life.
Yep. So then we've got, let's talk about Discipline. So we've got a Discipline as a new PvP talent. Inner Lights and Darkness. Inner Lights and Darkness.
I got you.
So Inner Light. Oh,
you
sorry. Go ahead.
No, you beat me to it.
Sorry.
Go.
Inner Light.
ahead.
Healing spells cost 15% less mana. Inner Shadow, which I guess it's Shadow, not Darkness, or whatever they're going to terminology use. Spell damage and atonement healing increased by 10%. Activate to swap from one effect to the other. So you can swap between 15% less mana on your healing spells and 10% increased healing from atonement and spell damage. So that's kind of cool. It's almost like stance swapping. So
Yeah.
nice. Searing Light, the PvP talent, renamed to Blaze of Light, has been redesigned. Increases the damage of Smite and Penance by 15%,
and Penance increases or decreases your target's movement speed by 40% for 2 seconds. It was Smite damage increased by 15 and reduced the cooldown of Penance by 1. So that's a cool option.
Yeah.
I really like that
slow
movement speed increase or decrease depending on, whether you're helping or harming. So Ultimate Radiance, the ever popular PvP talent, healing increased by 150%. It was 250%, so that's a substantial nerf to Ultimate Radiance. Trinity PvP talent no longer increases Atonement's damage to healing transfers by 20%, and the critical strike chance of Smite, Penance, and Shadow Fiend has been increased to 30%. It was 25%, so I don't know about Trinity. Yeah, people didn't really use Trinity anyway, though. So, Atonement's damage to healing transfer has been increased by 20% in PvP combat. Thank you. That needed to be there because Atonement was really just micro healing, So
it's a little bit more, a little bit less than micro, a little bit more.
Yeah. Now it's.
I was saying that Trinity though. Actually, that sounds a little bit better if you think about it. So that. It's written weirdly, but basically instead of just transferring more healing, it increases the crit strike of Smite, Penance, and the Shadow Fiend by 30%. So that's, it kind of did the crit strike increase to begin with, but that's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I think. Anyway, sorry. What's Holy got going on for it?
So for Holy has a Cardinal Mending PvP talent has been redesigned. Increases the healing of Prayer of Mending by 50% and its jump range by 10 yards. So that's pretty cool. Holy Word. Consecration has been renamed to Sanctified Ground and has been slightly redesigned. Holy Word. Sanctify now causes its current effect. Duration has been reduced to 5 seconds, was 8 seconds, and its radius has been increased to 10 yards, up from 8 yards. So that's kind of cool. A lot going on there, little increases. Miracle Worker, PvP talent, Holy Word, Serenity, cooldown, reduced by 20%. It was 25%.
Slight nerf.
Yep. Greater Heal, the PvP talent cooldown, decreased to 12 seconds. It was 15 seconds, and now ignores healing reduction effects except for dampening. That's pretty cool. Greater Heal is huge. Divine Ascension, PvP talent, now increases the range of your spells by 50% while you are in flight. Greater Fade.
Okay.
PvP talent.
How often are you casting while you're in flight?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't imagine very often.
I think that's actually divine. I think the part that doesn't talk is that's the one that launches you up in the air a bit.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm being funny, but yeah.
Greater Fade, PvP talent, duration reduced to 3 seconds. It was 4 seconds. That's good. Greater Fade was insane. Flash healing increased by 15% in PvP combat. Nice. In Spirit of the Redeemer, PvP talent cooldown reduced to 2 minutes. It was 3 minutes. So let's move on to Shadow. Shadow has some changes, some new PvP talents. Megalomania. So, Megalomania. Gain the Surrender to Madness talent. When Surrender to Madness would kill you, you are instead reduced to 35% of your max health. If you already have this talent, you may select another in the same row. Cool. They're trying to make that that ability value actually an option in PvP. Void Volley. Upon entering Void form, send a slow-moving bolt of shadow energy at a random location every half a second for 3 seconds, so 6, dealing 118% of spell power shadow damage to all targets within 8 yards and causing them to flee in horror for 8 seconds. Ooh, wow. So we've got Siphene, the PvP talent, now spawns with 10% of the priest's maximum health. It was 10 health.
That was so, yeah.
What a buff. Old Siphene. Yeah. So
it had the same amount of health as a totem.
yes, just poke. Yeah. Greater Fade PvP talent duration reduced to 3 seconds. Yep, was 4 seconds. That carries over to Shadow. Lasting Plague has been removed, which that would increase the duration of your Devouring Plague. So, but that's what you're looking at with Priest.
Nice. I'm going to do a slight... So the next one in the PTR notes is Shaman, but alphabetically it should be Rogue.
Oh.
So we're going to... So just want to point... If anybody's wondering what happened to Rogue, we'll get to him in a second. I'm just following the show note, the PTR notes. So Shaman has a brand new talent called Unleash Shield. And so this one's a really fun one. So this is one where it consumes your active elemental shield and unleashes it on the target. So if it's lightning shield, it knocks them away. Earth shield roots them in place for 3 seconds. Water shield summons a whirlpool for 6 seconds, reducing damage and healing by 50% while they stand in it. So that's a really fun talent that they came up with. With that though, Purifying Waters has been removed. Not a big loss, I think.
No.
And then, over on the elemental side, you have the Static Field Totem. So that summons a totem with 10% of your health. So similarly, a little bit buff to the totem at a target location for 6 seconds that forms a circuit of electricity that enemies can't pass through. So that's neat.
Anti-ring of peace.
Yeah. Another area denial effect. Then they have the Seasoned Winds. So Seasoned Winds, interrupting a spell with Wind Shear decreases your damage taken from that school by 15% for 12 seconds. All right. Seems good.
Yeah, especially if you're playing against a Warlock.
Yep. Or a Frost Mage.
Yeah, or Frost Mage.
No, I guess cool. Frost Mage has. I think they have some more skills.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think spells like that like make you consider, hey, I might get more value from this playing against a certain class, or it's like, hey, I'm playing against a Frost Mage, so maybe this has more value than it would up against this Holy Paladin or something like that. So
exactly, I like it. The Control of Lava PvP talent has been redesigned. This one's fun. So Frost Shock's periodic damage occurs 15% faster. If Frost Shock is dispelled, a volcanic eruption wells up beneath the dispeller, exploding for fire damage and knocking them into the air.
That's all for Flame Shock, yes.
Yeah. Is that what I said?
You said Frost Shock. Yeah, it's okay.
Oh, did I say that? Oh, God, I'm getting tired. Okay. Yeah, it's all Flame Shock.
Too.
All right. And then Elemental Attunement PvP talent was removed. Enhancement, they also have Seasoned Winds and the Static Field Totem. So not going to repeat that. Restoration, though, they have a new totem called Living Tide. So the Living Tide is a healing totem. The healing Tide totem cooldown is reduced by 1.5 minutes, and it heals for 100% more each time it pulses. All right.
Cool.
So, yeah. Also, the healing has been increased by 20% in PvP combat, and the Spirit Link PvP talent has been removed. So that's the PvP talent, though, not the actual Spirit Link ability, which is different. All right.
Right. Gotcha.
You want to take Rogue?
Yeah, let's take Rogue. The Roach. So, let's see here. Mark of the Master Assassin.
Duration has been reduced by 40% in PvP combat. Yep, we all saw that coming. Dismantle PvP talent is now available to all specializations. It previously was only Outlaw. Thick as Thieves, the PvP talent, is now available to all specializations. Also was only Outlaw. And now increases the target's damage by 15%, was 10%, but no longer increases the rogue's damage. It was 10%.
Ooh.
So that's pretty cool. Maneuverability, the PvP talent, now removes all roots when it's activated, in addition to its current effect. Honor Among Thieves has been removed. Assassination has a new PvP talent, Hemotoxin. So Hemotoxin. Shiv also reduces the target's healing received by 40% for 9 seconds.
Holy shoot.
Very nice indeed. Neurotoxin PvP talent has been removed. And you have hemotoxin, yeah. So intent to kill. PvP talent cooldown reduced for Shadow Step increased to 90%, was 66%. So your cooldown reduction.
You can like shadow. Oh man, how often can you shadow step then? That's crazy.
Yeah, that's nice though, because it allows you to have that more mobility that like kind of like what sub does, you know. So
Yeah.
that's nice.
So
Mine
shadow step has a 30-second recharge. So 90% of that. So that's like every 2.5 seconds you can shadow step.
yeah, heck yeah.
Holy shoot.
Mind numbing poison has been removed. So okay, for outlaw we've got some new options. A new PvP talent: float like a butterfly.
Sting like a bee.
That's right. So float like a butterfly. Restless Blades now also reduces the remaining cooldown of evasion and feint. Very nice. New PvP talent: Enduring Brawler. Every 3 seconds you remain in combat, gain 1% stamina and chance for Sinister Strike to hit additional time. Lose 1 stack each second while out of combat. A max of 20 seconds. Max of 20 stacks. That's pretty cool. Control as King PvP talent has been redesigned. Cheap Shot grants Slice and Dice for 15 seconds, and Kidney Shot restores 15 energy per combo point spent. Drink Up Me Hearties PvP talent has been redesigned. Crimson Vial restores 5% additional health and grants 60% of its healing to allies within 15 yards. That's pretty cool. Blade Fury damage transferred from single target attacks increased by 50% in PvP combat. Wow. 50% increase.
Holy moly. Yeah.
Boarding Party PvP talent. Radius increased to 15 yards. It was 10 yards. And duration increased to 6 seconds. It was 5. Take Your Cut PvP talent. Radius increased to 15 yards. It was 8. Cheap Trick, the PvP talent, has been removed. Plunder Armor has also been removed. Okay. For Subtlety.
Yes.
Subtlety has a new PvP talent, Distracting Mirage. Distracting Mirage, so you distract slows affected enemies by 30% and creates a mirage that follows an enemy for 8 seconds. Reactivate Distract to teleport to your mirage's location. That's pretty cool. I like that, because that was an almost like just micro playability. Like no one would even have that on their bars unless they were like going beyond min-maxing and looking for any possible use to squeeze the absolute most out of the class. So that's cool. Thief's Bargain, the PvP talent has been redesigned. Shadow Blades, Vanish, and Feint have a 33% reduced cooldown, but you deal 10% less damage for 6 seconds after using each ability. Shadowy Duel, duration reduced to 5 seconds. It was 6 seconds. Silhouette PvP cooldown reduction for Shadow Step increased to 67%. Was 50. Wow, even more Shadow Step reduction. Cold Blood, the PvP talent, has been removed.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Huh. So it looks like, so Assassination, their Shadow Step was reduced by 90% versus Subtlety, it was only reduced by 67% by that talent. Still, I mean, I think all in all, that should do some neat quality of life and change up the meta slightly, but I don't see Rogue suddenly being bottom tier. They're still probably still going to be at the top.
Yeah. Well, they weren't at the top
though,
before that, so I mean they'll still probably be mid-range. So.
Which one?
Upper range. Upper range.
Are you talking about Subtlety, or are you talking about just rogues in general?
Just rogues in general.
I thought they were higher than mid.
That's why I said upper.
Okay.
Just a lot of
Warlocks. Oh yeah. Warlocks, they have a new talent called Shadow Rift, which conjures a rift at the target location lasting 2 seconds. Enemy players within the rift, when it expires, are teleported to your demonic circle. Must be within 40 yards of your demonic circle to cast. Cool. So you can kind of help your friends out. Casting circle PvP talent radius was increased to 5 yards, was 3. It now lasts for 12 seconds instead of 8, and it now spawns directly underneath the warlock. They also fixed an issue that prevented Unstable Affliction from contributing towards Soul Leech absorb when Rampart Afflictions, another talent, was selected. Let's hear what else. We got Affliction, the Essence Drain PvP talent, now lasts for 10 seconds, was 6. And your Soul Shatter is gone. Demonology has a new talent called Fell Obelisk. This one, so summon a Fell Obelisk with 5% of your maximum health. It empowers you and your minions within 40 yards, increasing attack speed by 20% and reducing the cast time of all spells by 20% for 15 seconds. So now if you can imagine, you have your little army of imps all summoned up, and then you drop that thing, and all of them just got a heroism.
It's easily killable. But yes.
Yeah, true. Just put it behind somewhere where it can, behind a pillar or something like that, so it's not easily targeted.
Yeah.
So the Call Fell Lord PvP talent now deals 200% of the caster's spell power per swing, was 5% of the target's maximum health. So, I mean, definitely more scalable to spell power. The cooldown of the ability is increased to 2 minutes. It was a minute and a half. And your Singe Magic PvP talent is gone. Destruction has a brand new PvP talent called Bonds of Fell. And that encircles enemy players with Bonds of Fell, ensnaring them by 50% for 6 seconds. Any afflicted player that leaves the 8-yard radius, they explode, dealing 390% of spell power as fire damage split amongst all nearby enemies. So go ahead, try to leave, see what happens. Chaos Bolt got a buff. It now does 40% more damage in PvP, up from 15. And the Focused Chaos talent is gone. All
Nice.
right, you want to round us out with Warrior?
Yeah, let's finish it up. Let's wrap this up with the Warrior. So the Warrior's a little bit less. We have a new PvP talent for Warriors called Warbringer. Charge roots enemies for 2 seconds and emanates a shadow wave past the target, rooting enemies and dealing 145% of your attack power as physical damage in a 15-yard cone. That's pretty cool. Demolition PvP talent now increases Shattering Throws damage to absorb shields by an additional 500%. Very nice. And the Overwatch PvP talent has been removed. This is when you would intervene an ally and they would gain Spell Reflect for 5 seconds or until a spell is reflected. So that was a very popular talent that's been removed. So
Indeed.
Fury has got the only changes here. Slaughterhouse, the PvP talent, has been redesigned. Your rampage damage reduces the healing the target receives by 15% for 5 seconds, stacking up to 4 times. 60%.
That's actually pretty big.
Yeah.
That's a Mortal Strike that can go. What's that? That's 60% Mortal Strike.
Yeah.
That's actually that's huge.
For 8 seconds. That's a long time, yeah.
Or for
The
5
rogue
seconds.
one.
Yeah.
Oh, Justvar says 8. Okay, gotcha.
Oh, okay, weird. Dressbar might be a little bit late in updating it.
Yeah, it could be. All right, so that's a lot of the PvP changes. That was awfully long-winded. That was about an hour and 10 minutes worth of just talking those through. But we've got a bunch of other different changes with some of the rune carving or the legendaries. There's the new zones, new Maw Assaults, different stuff. The Tormentors of Torghast, new rares, all that kind of stuff. Some updates to Torghast, which we probably won't want to get into too much. So that's what we're looking at with 9.1.
I want to point out one neat little thing. Right at the bottom of Soul Ash, players that have unlocked Layer 9 of Torghast will now be able to transfer Soul Ash at a slight loss to another character on their account, by seeking out Bonesmith Hymir in Korthia. That's a small
Cool.
but very needed
Yeah.
quality of life. Wish we could do that for honor. That'd be nice.
Yeah, right?
Just saying. All right. So long. I know I was a little long-winded. I really appreciate everybody sticking through that. I think that was needed is for people to know. It was educational for me for some of that because there's been some new stuff just recently. But understanding there's still some stuff about gear. There's some questions about legendaries and everything else. And again, going back to the domination gems and all that other stuff, there's a few other things that we didn't cover here, and hopefully, I mean, let's be honest. There's a bunch of other content creators out there doing videos and guides up on Wowhead and a whole bunch of other places. So go forth, find it, and by all means, share your thoughts on this and anything else you found or anything you thought that we didn't cover enough over on our Discord. Right, come over to the Discord and give us a chat. So while we do that, let's talk quickly about any other PvP news that has happened.
All right. Who ordered up an extra large can of whoop ass?
Yes. Millhouse. All right.
I love Millhouse. Did you catch the G-Loot Raid Masters speedruns that they did?
I did not.
Oh, okay. So over at Raid Masters, they had started back, I think it was on the 8th of June. They did an international speedrun of Castle Nathria in all the regions. And then on the 20th, they finished up with, I think it was like the top 4. And it was interesting. I'll just say that. There were some massive wipes happening. So if you imagine, guilds running Mythic Castle Nathria here this late into the expansion and still doing full wipes because they're pushing the envelope. But that said, congratulations to Peppy Lands for winning the finals on that, and kudos
Pepe
to
Lands.
all the raid teams for going at it and doing a good showing. It was absolutely great. I think it was Nagura and Zeronic casted the whole thing that one day, so they were
Cool.
troopers.
Nice.
Yeah, I do enjoy them. Of course, there's hot fixes that happened. I think the biggest change, everybody's probably seen or heard of it, but they're all in Burning Crusade. So on the Burning Crusade, there was an issue with the halal trinkets, or I probably said that wrong. Anyway, they weren't dropping properly. There was an issue with the tokens. Or I said halal.
Yeah,
halal.
I was like Jewish? Like
Sorry. No, sorry. Autocorrect. Darn
Yes.
autocorrect.
I'm like, I think that's Hala, yeah.
Yeah, the Hala. I can't believe I did that.
Hala. Yes, they were not getting enough dreidels, so
No.
send all your hate
God,
mail.
I'm so embarrassed.
Send all of your hate mail to technically PvP.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, so apparently they weren't being granted like they're supposed to. It's been fixed. And then over at the Burning Crusade, Eye of the Storm, there was a meta that happened where people found out that they got a whole bunch of bonus experience or bonus honor points from just capping flags. So that's what the battleground turned into. Not what was ever intended. It was boring because then people were basically ransoming the whole battleground, just running flag after flag after flag, until finally allowing for enough caps before they ended the battleground. Anyway, Blizzard recognized that and said, "All right, fine, we'll nerf how much bonus honor you guys get," which now has almost turned it to a trickle, which is fine for a lot of people who are Alliance right now because the queues are almost instant. But for a lot of the Horde players, they were upset, and we saw a lot on social media and other places of people decrying how Blizzard needs to make a change because they're sitting in 45-minute or longer queues to get into PvP and get a trickle of honor points. Yeah. So, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what any suggestions could be. I know a lot of people have made suggestions. I feel for the players who went Horde and are now stuck in this. I mean, honestly, back in the day, that was one of the bonuses of being on the underrepresented faction, was you got really fast queues. So, tis what it is, I guess. And then the other one, well, obviously, 9.1 is launching next Tuesday on the 29th. But last but not least, Fist, our friend Fist, and a newcomer to the WoW esports team, Anthony Vitoli. He and she were both guests over on the Warcraft Reloaded podcast. So if you want, there's a tweet that we put out on the Technically PvP Twitter with a link to the VOD on Twitch with a timestamp of when that actually starts. If you want, you can go there, or just go over to Warcraft Reloaded, and you'll be able to find pretty much on your app of choice their podcast. And the interview starts about halfway through the podcast. So go check it out. It's a great conversation talking to two very passionate people on the esports team about the Classic Arena tournament that is happening next month that we already talked about. That's it for the news. Really, really, really short.
Yeah.
Not much for events and not much that happened.
Yeah, TBC Classic came out. That's the reason.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But on that, Andallyn, do you have any shout outs you want to give?
Let's see. Shout out to anyone who's made it this far. Thank you for listening to the show. We hope you're excited for 9.1 as we get closer here. I think what is the date? Is
the
it
29th? It's
29th.
literally a week from today.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. The 29th. So next podcast we will be post 9.1.
Yep.
And so we'll be looking forward to chatting with you more then.
Indeed. I want to give a shout out to you. I know your life has been fairly busy, but I want to thank you for all the things that you keep doing in the background. And again, a shout out to the Warcraft Radio team. The continued support over at the Patreon, the support through things like the Teespring for the shirts and doing the graphics and everything like that. Just ever so grateful for them. So if any of you really enjoy what we're doing and what Warcraft Radio is doing for us, please go on over, show your support to us and the other podcasts over there. Join the Patreon, even if it's just $1. It's much appreciated.
Absolutely. You can also leave us a review if you don't have any money to spare. That's also just as valuable, honestly.
Very much so. Actually, yes. Please. On that, Andallyn, can you list off the listeners where they can reach us?
Sure. You can contact us directly with a tweet to @technically_PvP or by an email to technicallypvp@gmail.com. You can also join our discussions in the Warcraft Radio Discord, specifically under the Technically PvP Discord text channel.
Indeed. And you can also visit the Warcraft Radio website to find the podcast directory with us and many other great shows at warcraftradio.com. And that directory also has the review system that we just talked about. Or, there's other review systems over at iTunes and other places. So by all means, head over there and tell us what you think of our show. Links for all this are going to be in the show notes. I want to thank everyone for listening, and we'll chat with you next time. Good night, everybody.
Ciao.